Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hello everyone, Craig here with another great business to discuss in this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Shaya, and she's selling her e-commerce and Amazon FBA business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Shaya. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Craig. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you on, and I'm looking forward to talking more about your business. But before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. It's an e-commerce and Amazon FBA business in the supplements niche, created in June 2011. The average monthly revenue for the business is $6,765, and it makes an average of $2,783 net profit each month. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 53090 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, let's have a look at what's included in the sale. We have the Amazon Seller Essential account with 3 SKUs, domain including all site content and files, SOPs, supplier contracts and relationships, email list with 350 subscribers, a trademark that's pending, social media accounts for Facebook, YouTube and Instagram, and it's important to note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to active unlockers. Okay, Shaya, now let's hear from you. Can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. So I don't come from an online e-commerce background, so we are traditional property investors. So me and my husband, we typically invest in rental properties and mostly real estates, basically. And we wanted to just invest in another asset, and we wanted to diversify our portfolio. So we started looking for an e-commerce business for quite a few months, and then we came across Empire Flipper Marketplace. And that's how we came across this business that we currently own.
Okay, excellent stuff. And what was your experience of owning your first online business like?
So it's been a great experience because we bought this business for passive income, purely for passive income. I know there is no such as passive income. You know, traditionally as a realtor, you know that it's pretty hands-off, and me and my husband wanted to really focus on buying a business which does not involve too much of our time and resources. So this business has given us that ability to do so. So I have not spent too much time on it, but it's been a really great, smooth experience where I spend about an hour or 2 a week on running this business. And so far, it's so good. I've learned so much from this business on running an online e-commerce business.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, it's great to hear that you've made that transition from real estate investing to online business investing. So how would you compare the differences of having those 2 different types of investments, just out of curiosity?
Of course, property is like, you build a property or you buy a property and then you rent it out, and that's pretty much, that's it. And the agents look after it and manage it. So it's very, very hands-off. With an e-commerce business, I think this is very, very different to all the rest I have seen so far. So this is like a 10-year-old brand or a company, right? And it needs very minimal effort. And I think if you want to grow the business, then you would have to be hands-on and add more products, which we haven't done so much. But it was more, I would say, a very true experience of what really it takes to run an e-commerce business that is focusing on building a brand, building a loyal customer, which keeps coming back over and over again without you doing too much to it.
Okay, yeah, that's just interested to get some insights at differences of the 2 areas. So you mentioned that you spend about an hour a week on this business. What sort of work do you do on this site for maintenance?
I spend that hour just to keep an eye or glaze an eye on Amazon PPC, and then really see what's working, what's not working, and then just answer any questions from customers. But I would say that's at a stretch, an hour or 2, I would say, because even the PPC is automated now, so I hardly even touch it now. because 70% of our customers are return customers. So they know what they're buying. I don't have to go out there and keep acquiring new customers, because in this niche, I think once you have a great product, you have a very good customer base, which keeps coming for more. So each time they would run out, they would come back for more.
Yeah, and I guess you've sort of covered this a little bit, but what attracted you to this e-commerce business in particular?
So when we make an investment, we have certain criteria, and this business really kind of like ticked all the boxes that we were looking for when we make an investment. So firstly, it had a very stable income. For the past 5 years, if I look at the P&L, it has a very steady income, very steady revenue. Even in the COVID, it had a very less impact. I would say the revenue was almost doubled during the pandemic, so which was very good. 2, it had a very unique proposition, because what I didn't want to do is go buy another e-commerce company where the products come from China, or, it's like a Me Too product. I was really focusing on locally made, whereas made in Canada or made in USA, and where it could be sourced domestically within North America, and also a unique proposition. What is different about this product that this company is particularly, or this brand is particularly selling? Can I copy it easily? Can I go out there and can I replicate that? And that was quite hard. And I'm like, okay, it ticks the second box as well. And then also the brand, it is not easy to build a brand. If somebody is an e-commerce savvy, they would know how hard it is to build a brand, especially e-commerce brand. I think it was kind of like done for us. And it was a 10-year-old brand built by a very well-known entrepreneur. And I wanted to carry, and we just carried on the legacy without doing too much to it.
Yeah, it sounds like you've certainly applied the investor principles and looking in assets in general. And it's, like you said, the business has ticked all your boxes. So, I'm curious as to why you're selling the business right now then.
So while I was running this, I learned a lot about Amazon. I didn't know anything about Amazon, how Amazon works. I just didn't know anything. And I was kind of like, okay, let me dabble a bit with this. And while I was playing around a bit, because I had so much time and I was not spending much time on this, I started playing around with another private label product, which is in the fashion niche, which is, I think, I'm passionate about. And I started playing around a bit, and that has taken off to my surprise. And I just want to focus more time on that. It's going to take a lot of resources and cash flow in order to build that product and build a brand around that, because fashion is very, very competitive, of course. And I just thought, okay, why not just release some cash flow, put it onto this? And that's the only reason why I wanted to sell this, because I don't think I can do everything all at once. And also because of this whole COVID thing has been kind of like lifted up in the UK. So our property business is back up and running. So I think I will be spending 50% over there, and then another 30-40% to my new private label product. And then I have very less time for this one now.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. If you've got another sort of passion project you can focus your attention on, then that's totally understandable. So the business is e-commerce and it earns from Amazon. Could you just tell us a little about how the business earns, how it's structured and things like that?
So currently the business, the way it's structured is we have a B2B and B2C customers. And then mostly the B2B, I would say the revenue is split between, 60-40 via Shopify, and then the B2C is mostly Amazon. So that's how the current transaction is structured. So we have, 65-75% of the revenue comes from our Shopify off Amazon, and then the remaining comes from Amazon. So it's pretty risk-free in that respect. And in terms of the logistics, like how the products get shipped, again, it's very hands-off. We have automated that as well. We have a 3PL based in Canada where all our products are stored. And as soon as the order comes in to Shopify, it's connected with our 3PL and they get a notification, there's an order, and then that gets shipped out directly to the customer. So we pretty much don't have to do anything in terms of shipping the products out. And for Amazon, whenever we run low on inventory, then we just tell our 3PL, hey, can you send X amount of units to Amazon warehouse? And then we just go ahead and do that. So that's pretty much in a nutshell how we have been running the business so far.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like it's got a pretty solid setup. Is there anything you've learned from running this business that you will apply to your other business that you're running?
Sure. So I think the most important thing I've learned is building a brand. And I don't think anybody out there can teach you that unless you're really in the crux of doing it. And that is so important in any e-commerce business because it's you have a very unique proposition that nobody can replicate. So that means any product that you launch, you have a customer base already. And that's currently what I'm currently doing. So if I want to launch a product, I know I have got already 500 customers who would try the new product out. So I think the lesson for me, what I've learned is building a brand is so important, and then having a unique product is just as important as building a brand. So those two things is something that I have applied to my new private label product as well, or business as well.
Absolutely, yeah, because it helps with the defensibility against competitors, like you mentioned earlier. Is there anything that you tried with this business that didn't work out for you at all?
Not really I don't have any online marketing experience, so I just try to test and see what works. I tried Facebook ads and I think they shut me down because I was using the wrong language or something. I don't know what it was, but they shut my account it was for, within a day we got shut down. So, and then I soon realized it's not probably a channel for my customer base. I think my user base or my customers are not on Facebook. It's pretty much completely offline. And then I think I started to focus more on direct reaching out to customers than using any ads or anything. And that's worked out a lot better.
Okay, yeah. You'll be surprised. I think account banning on Facebook happens a lot more than people think. And so you mentioned direct outreach. What does that outreach look like? And I think you mentioned that you do PPC, I guess, on Amazon earlier. Could you talk to us a little bit about that as well?
So I do Amazon PPC, but that's pretty much automated on running campaigns and making sure that we are on top of everything else. And the direct outreach is mostly the email marketing. So I try to do once a while email marketing, but nothing sophisticated or complicated. I don't use Klaviyo like other companies do. I just use the Shopify marketing because I understand that it's simple, it's stupid, and it works for me. I just didn't want to overcomplicate things than it should be, just keep it simple. People get the message. And that's what I usually typically do. When there is an offer, I send an offer out to Shopify marketing, sends an email out to everybody. If there's any spring fair or discounts or if there's a new offer, then I just try to communicate through that channel.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. So if you were to keep the business, what are some ways that you would try to grow it?
Sure. So the immediate growth, which is the low-hanging fruits, is something. So we are brand registered on Amazon, but I didn't get the time, which is not great from my end, is the enhanced brand content. I haven't done that as yet. And I keep getting notification from Amazon, hey, you have to do your enhanced brand content, which will increase 15% of your revenue, which I know, but it's just that I didn't get around doing it because I'm so focused on my new private label product. So the first thing I would do is build that content up. Second is focus of Amazon, which means, again, increasing the sales on Shopify or increasing more customer base, reaching out to more B2B customers. So we have currently a customer who's also a brand ambassador. And she pretty much does our videos and she pretty much does all the referrals for us or, spreads the word for us. So whenever we need any video or something, we just go directly to him or her. And those are the two immediate low-hanging fruits I would focus on to increase the Shopify revenue. And the other growth opportunities, if I would stay on and carry on with this brand, is adding more SKUs on Amazon and on Shopify. I think we are in a very, very fortunate position because we have managed to secure a relationship with a really large manufacturer based out of the US. They're a very large manufacturer, and this is direct. This is not a supplier or a middleman. They're direct manufacturers who have agreed to do smaller MOQs for us. And because we are in the natural supplement space niche, usually the typical MOQs are 1,000, 2,000, but in this case, we could do about 100 units, and they're okay with it. And we can really test the products very, very quickly on Amazon and see what's working, what's not working. And that relationship will be passed on to the new buyer as well.
Yeah, that's a very strong position for a buyer to know that they can test product launches with sort of minimal input. And yeah, that's sort of giving them an advantage over competitors. On the flip side of things, what do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
Wow, that's a tough question, because I think the risk is like anyone who's on Amazon, okay, yeah, they can shut you down, they will have suspensions, but so far, touch wood, we haven't had any of those issues because we have such a great manufacturer who has all the compliance and all the paperwork. So we meet and comply all the regulations. But I think in terms of risk, I can only think of Amazon because that's the only risk I can think of. I think the good thing over here is because 75% of our revenue is off Amazon, I think there's very, very limited risk here.
Yeah, absolutely. You sort of split the revenue, so diversify the risks. You're not totally beholden to Amazon. Yeah, that's a very good point. So, great stuff. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
This is a good business worth buying. It's for the same reasons why I acquired this business in the first place. Is because it's a very old brand, 10 years old, very loyal customer base. The lifetime customer value is about 10 years. We have customers who have been buying from us for 11 years. And I think it's a very, very strong product, strong USP and defendable product, which cannot be replicated easily or copied easily. Everything is sourced locally, either from Canada or from US. And there's a lot of scope in terms of increasing the revenue, which I haven't explored myself as yet.
Wow, yeah, that is impressive. Longer than 10 years for customer lifetime. There's giant brands that might not even see that amount of customer loyalty. So, excellent. Regarding the sale of the business, would you commit to a non-compete?
Yes, I definitely will.
And how much support are you willing to offer buyers? Are you going for the standard 30 days of email and Skype support?
Yeah, I mean, if there's more questions after 30 days, I'm more than happy to help because I think this brand has a lot more potential and I'll be happy to, support even if it's over 30 days. It's not a problem whatsoever.
Okay. And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
I am open, but preferably it's better if it's a full amount. But I think if majority of it is cash and there's a very small amount in terms of earnout, I'll be open to it. But of course, ideally, I would prefer like a complete clear transaction if it's possible. Anything
else you'd like to share that I might have missed?
I'm just looking at my notes. I think we covered pretty much everything, really. Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
So, yeah, we've covered a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of depth to this business. It seems very strong. So, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, Shay. It's been great talking to you.
Same here. Thanks, Craig.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 53090. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.